Hi everybody, welcome to this Smart Charts European session. Let's dive in with the latest market insights and see what's going on in the market as well, and how we can prepare ourselves for the week and days ahead. Okay, so we kicked off with one of the major news announcements overnight in the Asia session with the RBA meeting minutes release from their latest central bank meeting. No changes in the announcement, and basically central bank saying there's no imminent rate cuts on the horizon, which is quite different to other central banks. So it could be interesting. We might see a bit more of a bid in the Aussie. We've seen a lot of profit taking in the Aussie as we've seen big trend reversals really happening over the past several weeks with flows back into the US dollar. But it will be interesting to see if the Aussie can recover, especially if we compare that up with other economies that are cutting interest rates. If the Aussie is going to keep it on hold, we might see a bit more of a bid there. However, Aussie was also affected by overnight news from China, and we had a really disappointing press conference that upset the market, in fact. So the NDRC is the National Development and Reform Commission, and it functions as a macroeconomic management agency for the mainland region. There were really high expectations for game-changing stimulus to be announced after the monetary stimulus announced last week before the long Chinese weekend holiday, and that drove Chinese markets higher. We've seen some really big rallies in the Hong Kong stock market index, something that we have been focused on. However, no stimulus was announced, causing the Hong Kong and Chinese equities to collapse. And Aussie and Kiwi also fell in disappointment because a lot of their economic growth is linked to the growth of China as well, because there's such big importers of commodities like copper and things like that. So sometimes we can get a bit of a link there. So that's kind of pressured the commodity currencies to the downside, which again has been good. We have been looking at weakness in the commodity currencies on the faster time frames, but also looking for a potential buy the dip opportunity on the higher time frames. So let's have a look inside of Smart Charts, get a quick update on how this has been reflected in the markets, and highlight a couple of things to keep an eye on as the week unfolds. Okay, so here's an actual chart of the Hong Kong stock market index, the largest 50 shares listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. And we've had this nice sort of move to the upside, very strong rally. We're buying the dips on the pullbacks here, but obviously we've had a bit of a collapse. But this just could be a reset. You know, big picture, we'll be looking for this price to stabilize, and then still be looking for price to continue in the future. So we're just going to wait for a bit of a stabilization period. We've just had a bit of profit taken, so we'll just wait for that stabilization period and then maybe look for some cycles to continue if the trend does unfold. So that was like a bigger theme that we were tracking because of the stimulus. Okay, it hasn't been announced now, but there could be more announcements in the future. So certainly something to keep an eye on if we get that fundamentally that narrative. It is a similar thing with oil as well. We've talked about the potential short squeeze in oil because we had been shorting this to the downside when price got below the moving average zone here and started to form this descending triangle pattern, and had a couple of good positional trades here as we sort of traded in this descending triangle pattern, broke out of it, and we had a nice little retest and pullback for another short trade here. And you can see it never went to make the low, and it's obviously rallied back up, and we've broken that cycle structure. But this could become quite interesting to see if we can stay above these daily moving averages and maybe start to get some cycles developing. Of course, there's fears that, you know, Israel may attack Iran's oil industry, and that of course will cause some supply issues in the global supply of oil. So that could put a bit of pressure into oil prices as well. So something to keep an eye on. Oil related stocks as well are performing quite well. So those are some of the bigger themes in the background that we're focused on, and just waiting for some setups, okay, on any pullbacks or any of your different strategies, and looking for the continuation. Now, just to get a quick update on what we have been looking at so far. So yesterday we highlighted on the daily chart, we were trading the Australian dollar against the US dollar on the daily charts actually. So all right, so on Aussie against the USD, we had price come into this long-term support level, and we said, okay, well, look, maybe there's a chance, you know, price might start to stabilize here, and maybe we will get some buyers turning up around that moving average zone. Around this angular price with buyers had turned up before. So we had some pending orders to see if the daily buyers were going to turn up and continue a trend, but We were also prepared to keep on trading into the short side because it's also been on our watch list for the faster time frames. So it was on a day 3 of the trader certification program yesterday, and this was one of the main trades that we focused on, Aussie US, on a continuation of that phase 2 to the downside. And on the fast time frame strategy, we had this nice cycle formation, okay, off the moving average zone, coming off a trend line, for us to participate in this phase 1 move. So that was quite a nice way to start off the week. And this is very important, okay, because most retail traders go into the market with a viewpoint that they are always right. Oh, the market has to go in this direction. But actually, we're probabilistic traders, so we prepare ourselves for any direction the market goes in. So this whole move to the downside, as beautiful as it looks, it's just a big phase 2 move on a daily chart. So daily chart traders, we had some orders pending, ready to see, okay, are the daily chart traders going to step in, buy at a low price, and now is it going to start pushing up over the next several weeks? We're prepared for that. Buys didn't turn up, pending trade expired. But then we were also prepared to keep on trading a continuation of the fast time frame traders as it continues to go lower. And that's when you know you're a true probabilistic trader, because you're now fully focused on navigating what the market is telling you to do and adapting to the different players building positions in the market, all right? And that's very key. Now, a couple of things that we've been highlighting on the London and Sydney trading floors is actually Euro US dollar on the twin flip strategy here. So on top of what Smart Chart is finding, if you're not familiar with rules and conditions of any of your strategies inside of Smart Chart, then make sure you're attending your trader certification program workshops and events and boot camps, all that kind of stuff, the e-learning materials, the coaching sessions, you know, all that stuff there to support you guys in your trading. But on top of what Smart Chart is finding, there's a couple of interesting things here, okay? And really what you want to be doing is utilizing the power of algorithmic AI technology and combining that with a bit of human insight, pattern recognition. It's the combination of those things which are very, very powerful. And what we can actually see here is that, first of all, we're on this moving average, okay? So we're in this moving average zone, as I like to call it, and we can see that buyers actually turned up here before. So maybe there's a high probability chance that buyers might want to decide to turn up here again. We also have a confluence of support areas, because we can see that we do have this angular price kicking in here where buyers have turned up before, which might give it a little bit of support for buyers to turn up here again today. And if we zoom out a little bit further, something that you can also see is that we're not just trading at some random place here, all right? So what you can see is that historically we are at an area where price has been turning. So if I even extend this line just a little bit more here, so what do we notice? That price has been turning here and here and here and here and here. And price has been turning here, so we're looking to see if are we going to get another turning point here as well. So we have a confluence of support areas here, all lining up around the same area. So this could become quite interesting, and we could actually be at the bottom of a potential trading range here as well from a market structure perspective, and that makes sense as well, because a lot of the expectations of central banks, from the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank, a lot of it has already been priced in, so we might just get a bit more of a sideways range-based market movement developing, and that can typically happen after really big trends and the trend reversals we've had, okay? So in this instance, we've had that. We've had a lot of trends here on your phase changer and T-wave momentum strategies. We've had a lot of trend reversals here on the 4-hour chart vol reversal. So after your big trends, after your vol reversal, it might start to go a bit sideways until the new market condition starts to unfold. So something to bear in mind. But we have a lot of confluence of support areas here, and on top of highlighting the potential trading opportunities, Smart Charts will also help with the most important part, which is of course risk management. So by clicking the buy icon here, I'll populate an entry price of the blue dot, stop loss of the red dot, target the green dot. These can all be adjusted according to your own user preferences. It will do the risk management calculations for you as well. Really important to keep that risk low. Make sure you're able to deal with the random distributions or wins and losses that develop throughout the day, throughout the week, and throughout the month. And then we'd like to set an expiry on this particular strategy for this time frame current bar, close, expiry, and simply decline or accept the trade here at the bottom. Okay, so there are plenty of other trading opportunities developing, in particular on some of the faster time frames. And so if you're building your watch list, there's some good things there to focus on. So make sure you're tuning into all the live trading webinars throughout the trading day to capitalize on those intraday trading opportunities with the live traders in smart charts, interact with them, ask them questions, okay, and really support you guys in your trading. But in the meantime, that's it from me. All the best to your trading. I'll see you next time.